up, everybody? Welcome to Taste Like Music. Krams are here with my good pal Joe. No Jason right now, but we are reviewing a new album that Jason very much vested interest in. He's in the process of buying a home in Pittsburgh right now and couldn't do the review. But we are covering the new release of Sharon Van Etten, her new album. We've been going about this all wrong. There it is. Joe's Vinyl Life coming. That's a pretty cool album cover. Very nice. So Sharon Van Etten's been around for almost a decade now. She's from New Jersey. She's got one of the classic indie folk sounds. She's kind of like in that Mount Rushmore of like the new age of female singer-songwriters of rock. And I will just say rock. I really think, and we've talked about this on the channel before, that the female lead vocalist or singer-songwriter has really been a forefront of rock in general, or what it is to me, modern rock. She pairs up with Angel Olsen a lot. They're doing, I believe, a big tour with the two of them and Julian Baker. So it is very much a big kind of push for this female-led reinvention of rock. Very much of this sound, indie folk, indie rock, a little bit of country in there, that sort of stuff. I think this new one is a little bit digression from that kind of raw, stripped-down sound. Not necessarily in a bad way, but what's your familiarity with Sharon Van Etten? And then we'll get into the new one.
Limited familiarity with Sharon. I don't know if I've actually ever listened to a full one of her albums before. I feel like I probably did somewhere in my listening, between 2014 and 2019. But if I did, it didn't make a big impression on me. And the only reason I own this on vinyl, signed up for the Magnolia Record Club, and they sent it to me. So what the hell? I figured I'd give it a listen. I don't know if I would have listened to it otherwise. I probably would have eventually. But
for those in the viewership that aren't familiar with the Magnolia Record Club or these sort of clubs, this was not something you requested. It's just kind of a spontaneous arrival, correct?
Correct. They just send you stuff, and then you open it and listen to it, and hopefully like it. It's in that genre though. It's going to be somewhat indie rock, folk, something like that. So it's not quite. It's not like an Arcade Fire level of vinyl they're going to send you. They're going to send you a little more obscure, but definitely in our comfort zone, in the channel's comfort zone type of record.
Very nice. For me, I'm a pretty big Sharon Van Etten fan. I can't remember what her sort of stats are in the channel with me. I feel like I may have nominated her in the Album of the Year series videos with Are We There or Remind Me Tomorrow, her 14 and 2019 releases, but I'm not entirely sure. But today we're talking about, we've been going about this all wrong. Jason is not here, so we're going to give his quick little score. He's going 4 stars, which I believe is like a pretty damn good score for Jason. I'm also going 4 stars. I think it's great, but I want to hear what you got to say. So you kick it off.
All right. Well, I didn't know what to expect when I threw this bad boy on, and it definitely surprised me with how big and expansive the sound is on this. She billed this, and like many artists around last year or so, this was a quarantine album, home recorded for the most part, I believe. So I was kind of thinking, okay, stripped down, folky, and this thing is big. Like the music on this is huge. It's like the crescendo of Fake Plastic Trees, but like there's no build or come down. It's just like boom, like everything coming at you. A lot of emotional power, layers and layers of synths just layered on top of each other and layered on some more. A lot of big drum sounds. Some stuff starts, simply acoustic guitar, Sharon's voice, and almost on every track except maybe Darkish, I think, is really the only one that's just Sharon and a guitar and light accompaniment. Everything else is just so big. And, I like that style in general, but I think This one kind of hits that, full on power mode too much and too quickly that you don't get enough dynamics in like the build up to these emotional highs and these, charged electric atmosphere. It's just kind of like starts there and dips a little bit in certain spots, but it almost always goes back. So I had trouble really kind of placing this. It's right on the border of 4 stars, but I think by the end of it, I was looking for a little bit more, change in this emotional level. It's just too much. I think it's like a tempest that never stops. You hit the eye, maybe with Darkish, but then it gets right back in there. I think it's funny. I like the I Dance Like Elaine part in Mistakes. I like this, almost 9 Inch Nails vibe of Headspace. Reminds me a lot of like Tori Amos in the 90s when she was kind of hanging out with Trent Reznor and having these big squealing guitars and fuzzy bass. A lot of great sounds on this, but I don't know. The emotional state left me a little staggered by the end of it, of just like too much power, too much of the time.
Yeah, I kind of agree with that. I really liked the album a lot. In fact, I loved it because I think the songwriting's really good. But I do think the thing that gets stale about it is the production. Like, does every song have to be this big anthem ballad? So I would have liked a little bit more variety there. That said, like what it does have to offer is pretty cool. Like everything's got that really beautiful, giant, stormy, beautiful beauty quality. And we're talking about like this big sound in the realm of what she's working with. Like obviously it's not the fucking Darkness or Def Leppard album. Like it's not power pop, power rock, but it is a big sound for her, especially what you're talking about at the beginning of this episode. Like it's a mostly home recorded sort of effort, but it seems a little bit like she just wants a bigger audience. And that was kind of the main idea going with these big sounds. Um, so let's kind of go through it here. I think Darkness Fades is really cool. I think one thing about getting this bigger sound, this more anthemic kind of approach is does show off her voice a little bit more than the other albums, which is still always awesome and really apparent. But this one, she's really kind of belting and it's really cool. It's really mixed in the front, which I really like because I think her voice is awesome. She can do a lot with her voice. She can communicate a lot without getting really heavy and getting really aggressive with her, physical performance. But it's strong in that big sense, but it's like a soft power, which I really like. And I also like I think this is I don't think she'll make another album that sounds like this because I think this is kind of the album where she wants to get kind of recognized. There's even a lot more of like the little synth touches and the little just kind of like synth hums creating atmosphere and background noise, seeming a little bit like she's trying to seem a little more mainstream. I don't think there's any doubt about that. But it is quite catchy at times. Like the song I'll Try is really awesome and quite catchy. She's going for like that big modern indie folk vibe that I don't know if she'll continue with. Like I said, it's just I think this is a little bit of like a fish hook kind of move here. I love the song Anything a lot or something. It's just really something about it I dig. The way the production and everything and the composition comes in, like the music behind it is really pushing her and creates this sort of anxiety that's perfect for the emotion of the song. So even though I think a lot of the production is a little bit over the top sometimes and even a little bit repetitive, like it's a little samey sometimes. There's a lot of really mid-tempo stuff. I know that's a complaint we bring up a lot, but it's a real thing. Like too much of just the same adrenaline kick is not good for an album. But at times it really is just perfect. Um, I think Born is a bit boring and conventional. It comes right smack down in the middle. It's like, kind of like a perfect little piss break. But Headspace, like you said, the Trent Reznor quality, you get that big buzzing bass, that kind of rules. Like it's a little bit heavier, a little bit uglier, kind of like has like a venom to it. That's cool. It's a very droopy album, but it does kind of have like a vibrancy and a density to it that I really like. Like it's not a sad album, but it is kind of like mopey and droopy, which I like. I think the drums on this album are really good, really cool, especially on the song "Come Back." Really powerful, huge, gorgeous ballad. And then you get a song toward the end like "Mistakes," which is really kind of upbeat and dancey and bouncy. I really love the closing song on there. I love her high register. So I think from the strength of the songwriting and the atmosphere and her vocal performance, it's a great album. But I also am just like, I don't know, I'm kind of with you where I wanted it to be a little bit more complex and a little bit more adventurous. Like this is almost like the Sharon Van Etten album I would expect her to make to get more popular and not necessarily really get her wings out. And I feel like she did that, but I'm kind of okay with it. I would love more people to love Sharon Van Etten. And it's just a really good listen. I'm not gonna lie. There are things I would tweak about it. It is a soft 4 stars. I mean, 4 stars. I don't expect it to make the top 10 at the end of the year. But I do think it's really cool. I love her old, more stripped down stuff because I think she loses kind of that really rustic indie folk kind of thing here. She plays half of it. Like it's not full on like Billie Eilish, like modern pop kind of, the sensual whisper in my ear kind of low key pop. She does it down the middle. But I think I don't want to follow up in her catalog like this. Like this album is cool. When 20 years from now we do the entire listography when we're millionaires and we look back and we're like, yeah, let's do Sharon Van Etten. This is the album that stands out that maybe got her on the mainstream map. It's kind of my wish. So I like it for that, but I don't want this to be an album that defines Sharon Van Etten. Does that make sense? Like that's kind of what I'm thinking.
I got you there. Yeah, it's good. I get a lot of the bends here. I don't know if you picked up any of that. Like Born starts off like very Black Star by Radiohead. You have something like Come Back, which felt to me like High and Dry until it sort of gets bigger. Darkish also kind of got, it's like either High or Dry or the Come Down after the big part on Fake Plastic Trees. And very cinematic. There's just so much reverb. I wish the reverb was a little bit less big, bend style climaxes everywhere. It's a cool album, and I don't like it should be like right. Like this should be my album, like my Sharon Van Etten. This is the album that Sharon Van Etten makes to reach me. So I don't know why I'm not getting the 4 stars quite. It's interesting because it's a good album. I like the production choices, maybe a little less. I think the lyrics are good, very intimate, very, it's all about sort of being in a long-term relationship and finding like, the little things that keep you going. But I don't know. It's just something's missing a little bit. I can't go higher than 3.5. We'll revisit it. I will at the end of the year, because it's right on the cusp. I can't say anything about sound quality because I listen to it on vinyl. It's not just my computer, my headphones. I put it on the real deal. Still 7.8, 7.9 out of 10. It's right there.
Well, I think the thing that's missing maybe is like I think her other albums, like if right now we did the Sharon Van Etten listography week, like I don't know how many of these songs would make my top 10 songs. Even though they're all very good and there's like only one song I don't really care for, Born or whatever it was. I think like the 5th song or whatever, I think it was called Born. She has huge highlights on her other albums. This one didn't have as many like instant, like as soon as I'm done with this album, I'm going back and listening to this song. Like, and her other albums do have that. So that's something that's missing. And I know this goes against the mantra of my disposition on this channel where I'm like, give me the reverb, give me the reverb. I'm actually with you. I think this could have a warmer effect to it and kind of communicate better. It is a little bit uh it kind of just miscommunicates a little bit with the quality of the reverb and all of that. I think it would be a little bit warmer, but I'm still going 4 stars. I think it's great. I don't think it'll drop out of that, but it's not a likely top 10 for me, but I did really like it. So nothing to complain about, but Yeah, we're going 4 stars. Jason's at 4. You're at 3.5. So we're kind of all in the same whirlwind here. Any closing thoughts?
No, but well, actually, yes, no, but I'm going to talk about my closing thoughts now. I think this is a when I hear this album, even though I don't love it, it does make me want to explore her catalog a little bit more, even though I know it's not quite like this. But you can really feel and hear and see the talent that she has. Her voice is very good throughout, very versatile too. She does some like lower register stuff. She's up in the stratosphere a bunch. And she produced it. She played a bunch of the instruments. I think she's responsible for a lot of the drums, which, like you, really enjoyed the drum sound on this. So obviously she's just incredibly talented, and an album like this definitely makes me want to explore the rest of her back catalog. So I will be doing that, and I don't know, we'll see which one's my favorite and if I gain more appreciation for this one after hearing the others.
Awesome. Well, like I said, I think that's exactly what she was going for with that kind of fishhook, new, kind of more accessible sound. So, yeah, let us know if it had that effect on you, what you think about Sharon Van Etten's other albums, what you think about Sharon Van Etten's current album, the one we are reviewing right now. We've been going through this all wrong, going about this all wrong. What the hell is this album called? Whatever it's called. Show me. We have been going about this all wrong. Thank you, Joe. We wouldn't know what it was called without physical media. Long live physical media. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell for notifications. Let us know what you think about this album. And stay tuned for more album reviews, songs of the year, our weekly listography, and other videos here on Taste Like Music. Jason says goodbye. Joe and I do as well. Talk to you later.